If you are seeing this, I just landed in the middle of D-Day, and bullets are already hitting the sand behind me. There is no slow intro here. Omaha Beach is exploding, men are running past me, and I have seconds to move. Look behind me. The whole beach is a kill zone, and every open step feels like a coin toss with history. The explosions are so close I can taste the sand, and the ocean behind us is full of incoming boats. I am crouched behind a steel obstacle, but calling this cover feels like lying to both of us. The map says this is a planned landing, but standing here it looks like the plan is being shredded in real time. A medic just ran past me, dragging a man by his straps, and nobody has time to even look shocked. The ships are firing from the horizon. The cliffs are firing back, and this beach is trapped between both. Engineers are setting charges under fire right behind me because nobody gets off this beach unless they open a path. Those bluffs are not scenery. They are the reason everyone here is crawling instead of running. Somehow I am wearing a press armband in the most dangerous place I have ever seen. And nobody cares. The tide is pushing forward. Fire is behind me. Gunfire is above me. And the beach is getting smaller. Men are moving through a gap in the wire now. And every second it stays open is saving lives. Another wave is coming in through the smoke, which means the nightmare behind me is still only beginning. I found the press area, and it is less glamorous than a movie. Mud, cigarettes, maps, and exhausted faces. A press officer just handed me credentials and barely looked twice, so I am officially inside the operation now. The correspondents here are drawing routes on crate lids because proper desks apparently did not survive the invasion plan. The officers keep saying schedules, tides, and sectors, but their voices tell me the plan is already under pressure. There are film cans, typewriters, and field telephones everywhere because this war is being fought and documented at once. The medics are waiting too quietly near the stretchers, and that silence is worse than panic. This wall map looks clean, but every pencil line on it points toward a beach full of unknowns. The radio operator keeps repeating coordinates, like numbers can make the morning less chaotic than it feels. I keep checking my notebook, like writing things down can somehow prove I am not hallucinating this. Every truck that leaves this camp is carrying equipment, orders, or someone who may not come back. The jokes here are too loud and too quick, the kind people make when they do not want silence. Even the crates marked press are covered in mud, which feels about right for journalism on invasion day. The guns are far away, but the tent ropes shake every time the coastline takes another hit. They are moving us closer now, and nobody says it directly, but the easy part is over. The ramps are dropping, and men are running into water that is instantly too loud, too cold, and too deadly. Sand is hitting my helmet like hail, and every explosion makes the beach feel smaller around us. Soldiers are crawling around the steel obstacles, not marching, because nothing here looks like the maps promised. This landing craft is smoking behind me, and people are using it as cover because open sand is impossible. Medics are dragging wounded men by their straps, and they are moving with a speed that looks practiced and desperate. I have to shout because the gunfire is constant, like the entire cliff is tearing metal over our heads. The smoke is so thick now that men keep running toward voices instead of landmarks. The map in my hand is soaked, useless, and somehow less real than the fear on every face here. There are helmets in the surf, rifles in the sand, and nobody has time to look back. Pieces of wood and metal are coming through the air, and I cannot tell what exploded anymore. We are moving toward the dunes because staying on the flat beach feels like waiting to be chosen. Engineers are cutting wire while shells land around them, which is the calmest bravery I have ever seen. I am behind one of these steel obstacles now, and it is cover only because there is nothing better. More boats are still coming in, which means the worst thing I have ever seen is not finished. I made it back to the press tents, and nobody here looks like the same person who left this morning. My notes are shaking on the page because my hands are still on the beach, even though I am here. The correspondents are typing fast, but every sentence has to carry something no sentence can really hold. A chaplain is talking to medics outside the tent, and none of them are looking toward the sea. This water tastes like metal and sand, but my throat is too dry to care. The first casualty lists are already being pinned up, and the paper looks too small for the morning. Officers keep revising the reports, trying to turn chaos into lines that headquarters can understand. I keep wiping mud off this armband, like the word press is the only reason I am still allowed here. They are unloading captured papers next to medical supplies, because information and survival are traveling together today. The radio keeps spitting out beach names, and every name now sounds like a wound. This is Jane reporting from Normandy. Soldiers are sleeping in the mud beside ammunition crates, because exhaustion finally beat fear for a few minutes. I wrote down the time, but the day already feels too large to fit inside a clock. Rain is starting on the canvas, and everyone keeps working like weather is no longer allowed to matter. They are moving inland next, and I know the beach was only the first chapter. We are inland now. These hedgerows turn every road into a tunnel, where anything can wait. The column moves slowly, because the mud grabs boots, wheels, and courage with the same patience. There is abandoned gear all along this lane, and every dropped object feels like a decision made too fast. The shots are coming from somewhere inside the green walls, which makes the whole countryside feel armed. I am in a ditch while a jeep squeezes past, because this road was never built for an invasion. The compass points north, but nobody here trusts direction as much as the next shouted order. Shh. Engineers are clearing the lane one careful step at a time, because the road itself might be waiting. Leaves keep falling on my helmet, and the quiet green around us makes the war feel stranger, not softer. There is a farmhouse chimney beyond the hedge, and for 1 second the world looks almost normal. Everyone just froze, and that hand signal turned this entire lane into a held breath. A vehicle is burning behind me, blocking the lane, and the column has to solve the road under fire. The shell holes are filling with rainwater, reflecting gray sky like little pieces of another ruined day. Someone just said civilians may be hiding nearby, and suddenly this is not only a battlefield anymore. The lane is opening ahead, and the smoke beyond the hedges means we are reaching a village. This is Sarah Jenkins. We are under heavy fire. The situation is critical. That shop front behind me is split open, with cans, glass, and family things scattered into the street. This fountain is cracked, the water is dirty, and people still gather near it because towns need centers. Soldiers are clearing rooms slowly, and every doorway looks ordinary until someone aims at it. The church tower is broken above us, and the missing stones make the sky look violent. A woman is trying to explain who stayed, who left, and who disappeared, all at once. There is a child's toy in the rubble, and that tiny thing makes the entire invasion feel different. Someone shouted "Sniper!" and the whole street changed shape in less than a second. I am pressed against this doorway, and the stone is cold through my jacket, while everyone waits. Smoke is moving between the roofs, like the village is still breathing after being hit. From here, the beach is behind us, but the sound of it has followed every step inland. I came back to Omaha near evening, and the same beach now looks older by centuries. The steel obstacles are still here, but now they are surrounded by tracks, wreckage, and silence. Medics are still working near the tide line because victory did not make the wounded disappear. Low tide has revealed wrecked landing craft, like the sea is giving back pieces of the morning. There is a helmet in the sand behind me, and I cannot stop wondering who wore it. The ships are still unloading, because after the first wave comes the enormous work of staying. My face is covered in rain, smoke, and sand, and somehow that feels like the day's honest uniform. The tire tracks cut across the sand now, turning a killing ground into a road for tomorrow. There are cheers from the dunes, but they sound tired, cautious, and almost afraid of being too early. Those bluffs looked impossible this morning, and now men are moving beyond them into France. This credential got me close to history, but it did not protect me from understanding what it cost. The tide keeps moving around the debris, like the ocean refuses to remember anything for long. More vehicles are rolling inland now, carrying bridges, fuel, radios, and the next problems. Omaha is not quiet because it is peaceful. It is quiet because everyone here is too exhausted to speak. It is night in the press camp, and the lamps make small circles of light in a huge dark day. Dispatches are being sealed now, but none of these pages can carry the smell, the noise, or the faces. I am sitting on a crate because chairs feel too civilized for what this day has been. The radio says the beachheads are holding, and everyone exhales, like they were saving that breath for hours. Trucks are still moving through the dark because D-Day does not end when the camera wants it to. I keep wiping mud from my notes, but the truth is the mud belongs on every page. Some correspondents fell asleep beside their typewriters, fingers near keys like they might wake up mid-sentence. The medics are still passing with lanterns, and their shadows keep crossing every version of the story. This little credential says correspondent, but today it felt more like witness, trespasser, and survivor at once. The coastline is only a black edge now, but I can still hear the morning inside it. I am closing the notebook for now, not because the story is finished, but because my hands need to stop. Tomorrow this will become reports, maps, speeches, and anniversaries. Tonight it is still mud and people. If you remember D-Day as one clean moment, remember this instead. It was thousands of terrified choices made together. I do not know how I got here, but I know what I saw, and I am never leaving it behind.